Namaste, Pranam, Gita Dhyanam. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitam Ritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Ambatva manusandadhami Bhagavad Gite Bhavadveshini. O Bhagavad Gita, with which Lord Narayana himself gave enlightenment to Arjuna. The ancient sage Vyasa included it in the Mahabharata. O Goddess, showerer of the nectar-like knowledge of non-dualism contained in your 18 chapters. O my affectionate mother, the destroyer of rebirth, I meditate upon thee. Krishna Vandana. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansachanura Mardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Son of Vasudeva, the slayer of Kansa and Chanur, extreme delight for Mother Devaki, O Lord Krishna, the supreme teacher of the universe, my salutations to you. Srimad Bhagavad Gita, the 9th Adhyay of Rajavidya, Rajaguhya Yoga, the science, kingly science and the kingly secret. And Sri Krishna is slowly revealing us the great truths, the great secrets and the great science of attaining the eternal Lord, of merging ourselves in the eternal Lord. And that is the objective of all the beings in this universe, whether moving beings or non-moving beings. Chara-charaha, their entire focus is ultimately merge with the eternal entity. And Sri Krishna is showing us the way. Sri Krishna earlier told us that how the people under the influence of that great delusion, they fail to recognize the divinity in these various forms, the human form that the Lord has taken. And then they also not only disrespect, but under the wrong impetus, under the wrong impressions, they get into all kind of vain activities, they have vain hopes, they have vain knowledge, and having lost the power of discrimination, they don't know what is right, what is wrong. And then with this delusive power, these people of the rajas and the tamas, predominant in them, the people with the rakshasi and the asuri tendencies, they just, leave their lives to come back again and again and again and again in this creation, in this cycle of birth and death. But in the previous reading of the 13th Shloka that we read, Sri Krishna told us the Mahatmans are not like them. The realized souls, the enlightened souls, the illumined souls, they understand the divine nature of the Lord. They understand the daivim prakritim of the eternal being, of the eternal Lord. And they take refuge. Ashritaha, mam ashritaha. They take refuge in me, that is what the Lord says. And they worship me. They pray to me with single-pointed devotion. The agenda is only one. Their agenda is merging with the Lord, understanding what is the ultimate reality, and have that ultimate realization, that Atma Jnana, that Brahma Jnana, that is their only objective. And with that single-pointedness, they start praying to the Lord, knowing that Lord is the source of all beings. Mahatmanastu mam partha daivim prakritim ashritaha bhajantya annanya manasaha jnatva bhutadim avyayam, knowing my imperishable nature, knowing me to be immutable, knowing to me to be one without any change. They know me to be the source of all this creation. And that is the dedication that these great souls they have. And now Sri Krishna is going to tell us that how these great souls, how these Mahatmans, they normally occupy themselves in their day-to-day activities. Unlike the Rakshasi and Asuri tendency people who have wrong notions of hopes, who have mogha asha, who have mogha karma, who have mogha jnana. They spend their lives under all those wrong notions that maybe the worldly enjoyment is the one and only thing in this life, sensual pleasures is the only thing, is the be all and end all in this life. Those are the wrong notions, those are the wrong understandings that these people with the rajas and tamas predominant, they are wasting their times. But how is it that the Mahatmans, they are going ahead with their lives? What they have Lord as their ultimate goal, that is for sure. But how they try? So that is what Sri Krishna is telling us in this 14th shloka that we are going to read about how these great souls occupy themselves. Satataṁ kīrtayanto mam yatantaśh dṛiḍha-vratāḥ namasyantaśh mam bhaktyā nitya-yuktā upāsate. This is how these people, these great souls, these illumined souls, they lead their lives. Satataṁ kīrtayanto mam. They are always busy singing my glories. They are always, they spend their time in contemplating on my greatness. Kīrtayanto. They like to sing my praises. They like to sing my glories. They like to sing my divinity. They want to repeat, rechant, chant and chant and chant my glories. Yatantaśh dṛiḍha-vratāḥ. Yatantaśh dṛiḍha-vratāḥ. With firm conviction. With firm vow. Dṛiḍha is firm. Vrataha is vow, conviction. With dṛiḍha-vratāḥ, they keep on glorifying me always. And namasyantaśh mam. They prostrate before me. They do namaskar to me. They keep on offering their salutations to me. Nitya-yuktā upāsate. Nitya-yuktā is always steadfast. Upāsate, they keep on worshipping me with the steadfast devotion. Nitya-yuktā bhaktyā. With steadfast devotion, they keep on worshipping me. Now this is how the Mahatmans behave. Not running after those wrong hopes, not running after those feeble activities, doing all the nonsense work which is not going to lead them anywhere, but rather getting them entangled again and again in this wheel of birth and death. And that wrong knowledge, the vain knowledge of thinking great about themselves. So unlike those people, the Mahatmans, what they do? Glorifying me always, striving firm in vows, prostrating before me. They worship me with devotion, with ever steadfast devotion, with ever steadfast bhakti. That is how the great souls, they spend their time on this earth. And if we study the lives of all the great saints, we find exactly the same way of life they have lived as mentioned by Sri Krishna in this 14th chapter. 24/7, they are devoted to the Lord. They don't talk anything nonsense. They don't have any time for gossiping. What is happening here? What is happening there? What is happening in the neighborhood? They don't have time for that. For them, the only talk, the only thought is nothing but the eternal Lord, the most loving, the most compassionate, the akshaya, imperishable and immutable, the one who is steady, always steady, firm. And that's how, focusing on that steadiness, on that firmness of the Lord, these people also, they develop that dṛiḍha-vratāḥ, that firmness of their vows. The firmness, nitya-yuktā, always, ever steady. Ever steady in their bhakti, ever steady in their vows. That is how these people mold their lives. Now, mind takes the coloring of what it glorifies. By glorifying God, godly qualities come to it. We keep on thinking on that akshaya nature of the God 24/7. Yes, our thoughts also become akshaya. Our thoughts also become immutable. Then there is only one thought in our mind. And it is not that thought, what I'm going to have for lunch, what I'm going to have for dinner, what I'm going to do in the evening, am I going to watch TV, am I going out to meet my friends? No other thoughts. Then even our thoughts, thinking about that akshaya, thinking about that avyaya, our thoughts also become avyaya. Then we have no other thought in the mind, and automatically our devotion becomes single pointed. We get that nitya-yuktā bhakti, ever steadfast devotion. We get that the quality of becoming a dṛiḍha-vratāḥ, because we are focusing all our attention is in glorifying the greatness of the Lord, glorifying these properties of the Lord, these qualities of the Lord. So we also tend to build up those qualities. Further, mind gets to know more of the field in which it strives. The more and more we get into it, a medical student, the more and more the student gets into that particular course, he will know more and more about that science in much better depth. And that gaining knowledge in that specific field will be so vast that he may not know what is 2 + 2. Because his entire focus is driven down in that field of medical expertise. The doctor who specializes in treating retina may not be able to treat what is wrong with the lungs or what is wrong with the bones. So this is what happens in the physical sciences, for that matter. If this happens in the physical sciences, the more and more we go deep into that science, we get to know more and more and more the depth of that knowledge of that particular science. So here, when we are trying to go deeper into the nature of the Lord, automatically we try to get higher and better and firm knowledge of that spiritual entity. Venturing in divine pursuit, it imbibes the divine increasingly. Naturally, once we have a one-pointed focus on the divine, entire thing around us, then what we gain is nothing but the divine. Rigid vows add to self-culture. I am not going to do this. Once the mind takes up this conviction that I am not going to do this, they cannot do this. They become so committed to that truthful vow. And if I have to do this, means I have to do this. If I have to sit for 3 hours meditating on the Lord, meditating on the Mother, then those 3 hours have to be spent meditating on the divine. No other go. Automatically the life gets changed in that direction. By prostrating before God, one gives oneself over to Him. After going to temples, why do we, prostrate before the Lord? Why do we do that sashtanga namaskar, falling flat? That is an indication of offering ourselves in totality. At least that is the gesture we do. But unfortunately, what happens is, it is just a physical gesture that we prostrate flat. We prostrate flat before God, we prostrate flat before our gurus, we prostrate flat before holy people. But are we really doing it? Are we really wholeheartedly surrendering ourselves? Or it is just that everybody does it, okay, we will also do it. So prostration, the namaskar that Sri Krishna has talked in this particular shlok, that let us not make that namaskar a formality. In fact, if it is a real sharanagati, then that namaskar has some meaning. Otherwise, you can also say hi. That is also a way of wishing, isn't it? There may not be any disrespect in it. Hi, how are you? But this hi, how are you? And the namaskar, in principle, there is a great difference. And this namaskar we are talking about, surrendering ourselves to the Lord. So why have deceit in it? Why have some lacuna in that feeling of surrender in it? Why keep something hidden from that mode of surrender? Let us surrender wholeheartedly and become the nitya-yuktā. So, by prostrating before God, one gives oneself over to Him, and by worshipping Him with devotion, one's individuality gets merged in God. And when having surrendered to the Lord in such a sacrificial manner, with a sacrificial thought that I am offering everything to Lord, then automatically the individuality, the individuality doesn't remain there. Then I am the servant of the Lord. Then I am child of my mother. I am the servant of my master. So that is what happens. We lose our individuality then. We don't retain the ego of that primitive man, for that matter. Then it is a highly evolved ego. It is the ripe ego, as Sri Ramakrishna would say, teach us all the time, that paka ami, the child, the ego of the child of mother, the ego of servant of the master, the ego of devotee of the Lord. So that individuality then disappears. Because of these varieties of ways of creating link with the Lord, the devotees thus engaged are said to be ever steadfast. Now, they don't have, from each and every corner of their life stream, they are connected to the Lord. Their hope is on the Lord, their karma is on the Lord, and their jnana is on the Lord, not like the other ones, with vain hopes, vain karma, and vain knowledge. Here, everything is nothing but Lord. Our hope is in the Lord. What else we want then? Lord is our ultimate hope. Whatever Lord is getting done through us as His instrument, that we are doing. Fine. So that is our karma in the Lord's jurisdiction. And whatever knowledge, whatever understanding the Lord is giving us by our surrender to the Lord, that is the ultimate knowledge we are giving. So in all spheres of life, the Mahapurusha, the Mahatman, the divine soul, then remains connected with the Lord 24/7. So that is what Sri Krishna says. This is how these people, they work in their day-to-day life. For them, all their hopes, all their works, all their knowledge, all their activities, everything they do is connected with the Lord. So that is about this is such a wonderful 14th shloka of just telling how one should get engaged in the life if we have to attain our ultimate goal. Satataṁ kīrtayanto mam yatantaśh dṛiḍha-vratāḥ namasyantaśh mam bhaktyā nitya-yuktā upāsate. This is a clear-cut formula, a clear-cut process, a clear-cut path that Sri Krishna has told us. Let us try to follow it to the best that we can, with the blessings of the Lord. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sri Krishna Arpanamastu. Jai Sri Ramakrishna. Jai Thakur. Jai Ma. Jai Swamiji.